Everybody has experienced a weird ex. She begins monitoring every Instagram post you make, behaving as though she is conducting a full-scale CIA probe from her couch after the breakup and the constant correspondence. Right now, Rachel Zegler is essentially keeping a close eye on Hollywood. "I refuse to change myself just to make others comfortable," she said last week in an interview with Harper's Bazaar. But the real question is, why?
I'm a narcissist. Weird, isn't it? I'm there, and I'm there, and I'm there. It's really weird.
And everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Just 2 days ago, Rachel Zegler was awarded a theater prize. The twist is that until you find out, you won't know who actually selects the winner. A few weeks earlier, she had begun filming a new film with Marissa Tomei. The odd thing is that the title hardly matters because many people believe Hollywood may never even release the film. Netflix and other streaming platforms are reportedly uninterested as well. Now fast forward a year or so, Disney had just released Snow White. Approximately 70% of the crowd left after just 1 week, faster than a well-liked health drink at a Beverly Hills juice bar. There's an unwritten rule in Hollywood when a movie fails so miserably. Usually, actors wait for the internet to move on, keep a low profile, apologize a few times, and take a back seat. In the industry, comeback stories are common, but only after a quiet departure. Rachel Zegler, on the other hand, did the opposite. In interviews on the anniversary of Disney's challenging time, she said she had not changed her mind at all. The real surprise, then, is not why she is speaking up, but rather why she keeps going. Many others are also wondering when Hollywood will begin to distance itself from them. Because when celebrity interest fades, there's usually just one choice left: Plan B.
There are times when it feels a bit impossible, doesn't it? To exist in a world where it feels like we can't be louder than a whisper without it making headlines.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
People in America work hard for their living, and they don't want to be lectured to by people who live in mansions and drive Rolls Royces. It's time for everybody in the entertainment industry to shut their pie hole.
Have you ever had a tiny pimple on the very tip of your nose? It's barely noticeable, yet it feels like satellites are hurtling in from orbit. That's how Rachel Zegler is currently being spoken about in Hollywood, like a small issue that has managed to grab everyone's attention. When will the industry react at last? Is a question that frequently comes up. In many ways, that response may already be occurring. Hollywood seemed to be quietly ignoring her. Studios don't appear to want to collaborate with her on any new projects this year, despite the fact that she gave a presentation at the Oscars last year. This is how the industry usually functions. The story started to spread again this week after she made yet another bold assertion in an interview with Harper's Bazaar. "I was once told that I wasn't enough of one thing for West Side Story and too much of another thing for Snow White. I grew up proud of being Colombian, eating the food, wearing the dresses, drinking the coffee, doing all the things that were so intrinsic to who I was as a kid, who I am as an adult. I refuse to assimilate for anybody else's comfort. This is about knowing when to remain silent, not about integration." Rachel, you are a Hackensack, New Jersey-born American who regularly highlights her Colombian heritage as if people wouldn't believe it. But it isn't really the issue. Think about the opportunity Hollywood offered her. At the age of just 17, she landed a major role in Steven Spielberg's massive studio production West Side Story, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for any young performer. So how was it handled? The film was mostly overshadowed by divisive discussions, identity-focused press tours, and lengthy rounds of interviews over representation. In many ways, it appeared that moving up the Hollywood ladder was more about having meaningful conversations than it was about simply promoting the movie and making people want to see it. Zegler directed attention away from the film and toward the greater conversation.
Gay rights! Gay rights! Yes! Gay rights! At the end of the day, this is the story of representation, and it matters.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
The second big opportunity was then offered by Disney's Snow White. This time, The stage had a larger budget, a larger studio, and a brighter spotlight. But the approach seems pretty much the same. Criticism quickly turned into news, which then turned into a megaphone. The film didn't live up to the hype, but it did suffer at the box office and became one of Disney's most talked about failures in recent years. At this time, the plot begins to get more interesting. When the public criticizes an actor, they usually have two options: either remain composed or make the situation worse. Odessa Azian, an actress, is a great illustration of how to keep things calm. She recently got a role in the film Deep Cuts as a Mexican character. Debates on social media broke out almost immediately, with some challenging her suitability for the position. The online debate heated up as many individuals wanted explanations. How did Odessa respond? Did she increase the conversation, arrange up interviews, or refute the argument? Not at all.
I am with all of you, and I am not doing this movie. Wow. Thank you guys for bringing this to my attention. I agree with every single one of you. This is why I love you guys. I'm so sorry that this happened. It is so important for me to let you in on how it all went down, which I found very refreshing. She says that she went in for the character of Percy, but was offered Zoe instead, and instantly just said yes. I'm so bleeped, y'all. I hadn't read the book and should have paid more attention to all aspects of Zoe before accepting.
Odessa Azian made a pretty simple choice. After publishing a brief message on Instagram, she discreetly resigned from the job. There were no long press tours, spectacular interviews, or media extravaganzas. She didn't sit down for magazine articles detailing the tension of the situation or make the occasion into a public campaign. Instead, she handled it calmly and continued. Whether the decision was upheld or not, the response showed professionalism and restraint. She maintained her focus on her work, diffused the argument, and kept things calm. In fact, she has several new projects planned already. Hollywood actors were aware of a basic guideline for many years: try to cool the space when it gets hot. Rachel Zegler's critics claim that she frequently takes the other route. As the debate over representation erupted around West Side Story and began to spread online, she responded firmly in interviews and on social media, addressing the audience, the media, and even the studio.
Let me tell you something. Soy una Latina orgullosa. Y tengo muchos privilegios.
You know, at the end of the day, this is the story of representation, and it matters.
No, it does not.
The cycle of criticism, responses, and an expanding internet conversation seemed to repeat itself when Snow White debuted there. Over the past few years, Rachel Zegler has been in the news frequently, and many observers say that this trend rarely changes. The strategy's primary objectives appear to be to lean into the debate, draw attention, and keep the discourse going. Because it kept her name in the public glare, that tactic did, in a way, work. Some media outlets even praised her confidence, describing her as a fearless voice ready to speak openly despite the criticism. The Snow White scandal had not slowed her down in the slightest, according to pieces in magazines like The Cut, which portrayed her as someone who persisted in speaking up in spite of the storm. They pulled a quote from one of our interviews where she stated, "I shared what I feel, and that always will stand as a testament to my core beliefs as a human. That's where I stand. Say what you want. I'm not going anywhere," is the message. Rachel Zegler seemed determined to keep going in spite of the criticism. She has yet to publicly accept responsibility for any part of the reaction to a film that reportedly cost Disney hundreds of millions of dollars and sparked intense internet debate, according to critics. Meanwhile, people like Odessa Azian, who stealthily avoided controversy without creating a stir in the media, are often compared. While one strategy aims to diffuse the tension, the other goes straight for the limelight. In this case, the louder answer did not eliminate the criticism. Rather, it only made room for what many call Plan B. When the crowd eventually stops cheering, Plan B begins. Being well-liked is not as important as remaining visible, even if it means becoming contentious. Over the previous year, One of the key events making news has been the unusual balcony performance during the musical Evita. Rachel Zegler went outside onto a balcony and sang "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" to the crowd gathering on the street during her performance as Eva Perón at the London Palladium. On social media, the incident quickly gained popularity. Large crowds gathered outdoors in the July heat, and some fans reportedly had trouble fitting in. Meanwhile, people who had bought pricey tickets inside the theater were watching the scene on a screen instead of in person, with some condemning the creative direction and others disputing the production decision. The dispute quickly turned into another moment that made headlines.
And I was like, we need to do whatever it takes to make sure that that happens, because it makes theater accessible, but also fits in with the plot of our show very well, because she wouldn't be singing to ticket buyers, she would be singing to people who couldn't afford to see the show.
Later stories claim that Zegler herself supported the balcony performance being included in the show. Replicating the dramatic symbolism of Eva Perón's famous speeches was the objective. However, the choice produced conflicting emotions because theatergoers had paid exorbitant prices expecting a traditional stage presentation. Ironically, the image mirrored the ostentatious publicity-seeking behaviors that are often associated with Eva Perón. The event revealed what some believe to be Zegler's main strategy: attention at all costs. Whether the response is favorable or not, the headlines never cease. According to this viewpoint, the cycle repeats itself. Controversy leads to coverage, which keeps her name in the news, and the cycle continues without any meaningful apologies or course adjustments.
Hi everyone, I'm so sad that I can't be there with you today to celebrate. I am so unbelievably humbled to be accepting this award. I'm literally in New York, just absolutely buzzing with excitement. So I just want to say a firm thank you to everybody who voted. Thank you to What's on Stage.
In her most recent award speech, Zegler praised her fans. On the other hand, the acknowledgement sparked online debate. Some commentators compared it to previous incidents, including when she faced off against celebrities like Denzel Washington and Keanu Reeves to win the Best Action Movie Star People's Choice Award in 2024. Many questioned how such outcomes were determined. Zegler performed in the London Palladium, where What's on Stage, a group with ties to the theater industry, received the most current prize. For doubters, that raised well-known issues with prize selection and the potential impact of industry links on recognition.
Hi, I'm Rachel Zegler, and I'm here today with Harper's Bazaar UK to show you what's in my beauty bag. When I was younger, my approach to beauty was a lot more shaped by what I was witnessing in big pieces of media. It was definitely very Eurocentric as I was growing up, and being a young Latina, that was hard because not a lot of people looked the way that I did, or they didn't have bushy eyebrows like I did. They didn't have dark eyes like I did.
What happens then when several endeavors fail, film parts dwindle, and controversy takes over as the principal strategy for preserving notoriety? The solution, according to critics, is visibility through headlines. Many observers believe that Zegler's most recent feature interview with Harper's Bazaar followed a clear pattern, even if it seemed polished and glossy. They claim that once Hollywood stops making calls and audiences stop showing up in the same numbers, the focus shifts from selling tickets to drawing attention. Every strong argument becomes a headline, and every headline keeps the conversation going. Critics argue that a successful film career cannot be permanently replaced by publicity alone because headlines do not fill theaters. The industry usually leaves only the drama's enduring memory behind if the publicity eventually fades and the focus changes.
Give me
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to our channel.